Well, howdy do. Top of the morning to you, my friends. It's 2 minutes. I was like bragging earlier this week about being early on my calls, and here I am, not early. Okay, so first of all, we got to set the mood, and the mood is green. The mood has been green for since the beginning of May because of the transit, the civilization transit. So top of the morning to y'all. I got everything set up now. Okay, great. How's everyone doing? Let me know how you're doing. We're in a new transit, friends. We are in a new transit. I'm going to talk to you guys about the transit. If you are live right now, you are getting a sort of exclusive look at the transits, or rather, how I view the transits. I'm going to run through something that is a posted and paid part of my community, the archive. And so this is gate 12. This is the gate of caution. This gate is in the throat in human design. We have a center that is designed for manifestation in transit right now. And so the gate that is in transit is about manifestation, and in particular, like the ability to know whether or not one can make an attempt or not make an attempt. That's the voice. It's like, I can try, or no, I'm definitely not going to handle that. It's caution. It's stand still. It's the ability to like sit still and determine how open should I be here, how closed should I be here. And so we have the gene key element of it, which are how you say, repression, silencing yourself out of fear or judgment, or desperate performance and attention seeking. That's the shadow of vanity. Gift is discrimination, knowing when and how to share your voice with integrity. And the city, or the full emanation of it, is purity. Let me go live on TikTok real quick. And that is the ability to tolerate the internal pressure to like say something or do something, and really check in with am I going to be able to say it. And for my projector over here, dealing with burnout, so much of it has to do with literally being able to tolerate the pressure externally to like move or do things. And so much you have to develop the cultivate an ability to tune into your own organs, as opposed to doing what's expected of you, and do what actually is do follow the energy that's being created inside you. And so currently we have gate 12 in transit, which is in the throat. So in the archive, we do a lot of exercises to help you widen your throat and make your throat stronger. One of the reasons people are burning out is because they're only using one of the first containers that they have for alchemy, which is the face and the head. This is where overthinking comes from. But you don't get enough feedback from thinking about things. You have to swallow it into the body and be able to process things with your body. So for projectors, this is a great, manifestors aren't the only ones with necks and throats, even though they are typically the only ones that have manifesting channels. They have energy centers going up towards the throat. For everybody, the neck is one of the most important parts of the body. And so to ground this gate 12 out, I also would recommend, if anyone is interested in how you say, learning how to work with human design in a practical way, come check out the archive. It's only $37 a month. And what I'm sharing right now is something that I sort of coach within the archive. And it's about making the transits applicable. So there are exercises, there are certain things you can do that are going to strengthen your physical body so that you can handle the energetic of this transit. And so what we're going to do during this transit for the next 5 days, we're going to be wanting to pay attention to the throat and the pressure in the throat, and then also the head and the particular the vision behind the expression, the seeking out new ideas and possibilities, and being able to like recognize, not necessarily from a thinking point of view, but from a feeling point of view, when you're like attempting to learn something new or attempting to get a new idea as a means of covering up your inability to maintain pressure in your neck. In human design, we have a sun transit and an earth transit, and they're always opposite of each other. And it's kind of like this. The sun transit gives the liquid, the earth transit is the cup. It's how you ground it and maintain it. And so if you have gate 12 during this transit, you're going to feel a natural elevation of your creative timing, or it's going to make, if your timing is not great, it's going to make your timing even worse. Right? The transit shows you your relationship with parts of your human design and with parts of your body. So if you have an undefined gate 12, there's going to be extra pressure to like say something important or impress people in all levels. So much of the transit and so much of life is about knowing when to practice restraint, because most people's problem is that they practice restraint in times that it's like not relevant for them to practice restraint, and then they fail to practice restraint when it's important, when it's very, very important. Now, if you have gate 22, which I have, this gives you access to the channel of openness. This is emotional depth that seeks refinement of expression. Waves rise. It's a good time to be alone and be in your melancholy. So for anyone with gate 22, very, very important for you to like learn how to be alone, or take the opportunity in the next 5 days, find one day or one segment of your day within the next 5 days, ideally when you're feeling the most emotional, and allow yourself to like be cooked by those emotions. Again, we're looking at the throat center, sensations that arise when you hold back speaking up. Where does the tension arise? Where do words want to rush out from? What happens when you restrict them? Where do they resonate, or where do they get trapped in the body? The ajna center, ideas, this is the earth transit, right? Write your visions down, let it land on paper instead of pressurizing your nervous system to hold it all. So again, this is about knowing when to be open, knowing when to be closed. This is about knowing when to make an attempt, when not to make an attempt. You're so pretty. Can I see your hair? Well, thank you. You can see half of it for now. Anyway, so that's just like what we are currently in. We just shifted into it last night. And for those of my people that are in the archive, check out 3.2. Check out season 3, episode 2 on the throat. Apply tissue decompressions, get your jaw, tongue, and your vocal tract, your throat, your esophagus, all of this stuff, get it in sync. And then to ground through gate 11, sensory design 3.1, 2.1, 1.1. All of these are classes that I'm referencing in the archive, which is a membership that's super accessible. Anyone can get on there. And we're looking at skull decompression. We're looking at eye tracking. We're looking at jaw gliding. Again, there's so many simple physical things that you can do to explore your human design, and you don't have to know anything about your physiology. You don't have to know anything about human design. You can just physically do them. And one of the things that I would encourage you to do for at least 2 or 3 minutes, given that this transit is about throat and eyes, is just this simple head panning thing. So if you want to do this with me, and for whoever just asked about if they should stop smoking cigarettes, I would say it's not about cigarettes. It's about your ability to use your body and the crutch that the cigarettes are. And so, for instance, all you're going to do is look at the phone, look right above the phone, then you're going to smell your head turning to the left. When you're at the top of your inhale, swallow, and then blow a cool stream of air like you're blowing a hot cup of tea, and come back to center. This is one of the first things that you're going to learn. This is how we open up the throat to get ideas out of the head into the body. Smell the opposite direction. When you're at the max, swallow, cool stream of air. One more time, smell the other direction. Make sure your shoulder isn't pushing forward as a way of getting your head to turn. I'm exaggerating, but it's subtle. Swallow, cool stream of air. Smell the other direction. Swallow, cool stream of air. This cool stream of air is to keep you from, see how my chest dumps? You want to learn how to maintain pressure in the body. This is one of the reasons people burn out, crash out, their emotional waves destroy them, or they let their emotions rule their lives, or they're stuck in their head. It's because their body can't handle the pressure. And anyway, that's it. So that's the transit update, guys. That would be a great little clip. I'm still looking for a clipper. Still looking for a clipper. I'll train you, and I'll be your clipper friend. But anyway, can you speak to being a projector with a defined throat through the channel of the alpha? It's weird navigating, wanting to speak, then waiting for an invitation. Totally. If you have the channel of the alpha, right, that's the channel that's like Where do I have influence? Where am I leading? And one of the things that you have to recognize is that you don't have influence unless you're elected. Unless you're elected through people looking to you as the one having the influence, you don't have it. And so take the invitation and the recognition from others, or the lack of, rather, take the lack of recognition and invitation from others as, look, you're not leading them. And that's also in general for projectors. Like, the reason why you want to wait for invitations is because you're conditioned to try to help people that don't want to be helped, and you can't help those people. Like, you physically can't help those people. Like, if they are hands are closed, you can't give them anything. They have to open their hands. That's the invitation. Hey, I'm ready to receive something from you. I have room in my car for you. And you can think of it in practical terms. Why wouldn't someone invite you? Well, their car is full. It's nothing personal. Their car is just full. They have other people in their life that they get advice from, whether that's helping them or not. What you have to ask yourself is why you want to get into a car with someone whose car is already full. Because you don't like being in full cars anyway, and you probably like to take yourself to and from when you're ready to go anyways. So this is all conditioning, and that conditioning is very mental, and you can try and think your way out of it, but it takes so long to do that. It's much quicker to actually just change the physical body and change the patterns in the posture, which, again, if you're interested in that, come check out the archive. What if you're a manifester with a channel of openness and provocation? Is anger and peace two choices for the manifester? Yes, anger and peace are the not self and the signature of a manifester, respectively. The choice that you make is whether or not you're going to respect your inner authority or not. If you respect your inner authority, typically you'll feel peace. If you don't respect your inner authority, you're going to feel anger. And although strategy is really helpful, the more important piece is authority, because strategy can shift and change. Admittedly, I've been doing this for 7 years, or no, 10 years now, 10, 11 years. They say it takes 7 years to decondition yourself. That's just to get to the point where you can actually feel safe using your strategy. Our method, we can do it quicker, because it's not about learning a mental system and applying this overlay to life. It's about physically changing your cells and sort of like overpowering your physical body, or overpowering your mind with your physical body. What would be the best advice you give to a manifesting generator? Learn how to trust your ahas and uh-uhs. Watch your own body language. It's very helpful, I think, just in general, for people to practice responding with and especially with like food or relationships. Like, if someone asks you why you like someone, tell them, say, hey, you know that person, or like look at pictures of them. Ask me specific things. Do I like their eyebrows? Do I like the way they dress? Do I like the way they present themselves? Do I like the way they think? And respond, and it's not about like, oh, yep, there was 17 ahas and 12 so I must like them. But during it, like, as a manifesting generator, how do you actually feel? And then also recognize, as a man gen, that you're allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to be like, I want to do this, and then 2 weeks later be like, I don't want to do this. One of the biggest plights, one of the biggest burdens that a manifesting generator has to bear is the expectation of other people that they have to be consistent about something that they're not even sure about themselves. And so you might go to college and then want to drop out, and then, but because everyone's going to be like, oh, you're a failure, you dropped out, you stay in college, and then you end up into a career, and then 40 years down the line, 20, 30 years down the line, you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, you didn't want to do it 2 months in. So it's very important for manifesting generators to learn how to adapt quickly. That's the whole point. How to handle life with the channel of openness. Vasco, I think we might need to have a session, my friend. Um, Check out my calendar if you can. If not, feel, just keep doing this. And also, I would recommend, again, and these are the reason I'm saying this is because you've been in the live quite a few times, and I don't think I've seen you in the archive. If you are in the archive and I'm mistaken, awesome. Come join through the archive chat, and I can help you a little bit more, because I'll be able to see your body graph and stuff. But my invitation is, like, either book a session with me, or get in the archive. Because again, what happens with a lot of people when they learn human design, there's this like neurotic, like, I want to understand myself. But human design is not about understanding yourself, it's about accepting yourself. And the road to accepting yourself is either through understanding or experience. Most people are going to choose understanding because it doesn't require them to change their physicality. But the experiential forces your body and your posture and everything to change. And then through that, you can achieve understanding. And it's a very different approach. Again, it's much more experiential than about learning and understanding a system, and it's about understanding and accepting and learning about your body. So I can't afford the archive, but I love listening to your advice. Wonderful. Well, hopefully my advice or my counsel or my co-regulation will get you to the point where you can afford the archive, because it's 37 a month or 333 for the entire year. So blessings of abundance on you, my friend. And again, a lot of people will spend 37 bucks on dinner. Like I spent 60 bucks feeding my family yesterday, and you can feed yourself for a month. You could feed your body for a month with a little more than half of that. Anyway, had an interesting event yesterday. Today feels significant. How does one pick what to do? Inner authority. What's your inner authority? And like I said too, it's like, you know, you can get plenty of advice and counsel, free counsel. That's why I do these lives. So keep tuning in. I'm not trying to scare you away. I'm just trying to like, hey, I can help you more if you get in the archive. Because there's also courses and a community and everything that's gonna help. I'm trying to logically understand myself, but I think I want to accept myself. Yeah, that's the wall you get pinned against. And I'm here to say, like, you can understand, you can attempt to understand yourself to the ends of the earth, but until you start to experience and accept yourself, and this is why people will avoid the archive, because it's like pinning yourself against the wall, but it's not the part of yourself that you want running the show. So yeah, again, invitation, come join the archive, lovingly. Hey Marco, wanted to ask you this all day. So I just noticed that me and my partner form a really cool electromagnetic channel, the 214. That's an awesome channel to have with a partner. Your personality 2.1 and her design sun at 14.4. Does this sun connection mean something deeper? Yeah. So Jacob, that's a great question. And again, Jacob is one of the, probably might be the youngest member in the archive, which is so cool. Um, and so I know the journey that you've been on, bro, which is so cool, because the sun placement, the sun and earth placements on your personality and design sign are like the most impactful placements. So the fact that you guys have the 214, which is one of the most important channels in society, it's called the beat. Essentially, you couple the vision, which is what you have, Jacob, and the ability to see one's self, or see where like creative energy is best expended, and then 14, which is the satisfaction of expending that energy in the right place in a romantic relationship. That's going to create a lot of opportunities for mutation. And so one of the things about having an electromagnetic channel, there will be times where that mutation is like beautiful and blissful, and it's like how you say, like you're together and you guys are so different from all the other couples, and you're moving at your own pace, and then it will flip, and it'll be like other couples don't experience this. Why are we experiencing this? Those times it's better to, in my opinion, separate yourselves, not necessarily like break the relationship, although it could be beneficial to have periods of like, hey, for the next cycle or for the next 5 days, that's the length of time that the sun needs to transit, using that breaking. And actually, I'm gonna go pull your chart real quick, bro, because I want to give you the soundest advice that I can. And it's, dude, swear. And you're letting me vicariously live through you is so cool, dude. Because I wish I had someone to give me like real based advice when I was young in the dating world. And so I'm just so happy to be able to share with you, man. Um, Smiling so hard here, yeah, dude. I got a lot of love for you. It makes me so excited because there's not a lot of like young dudes that care about this stuff, and it's so important to care about this stuff. And anyway, yeah. And this is also like sexual energy, and one of the greatest healing mechanisms is for young people to be able to heal and move through a lot of the more intimate containers consciously, so that they don't have to spend their 20s and 30s unraveling things. And again, you just stay connected, bro, and you'll have a lot of counsel. So okay, so there's part of your body that wants to break the bond. It's sort of like in your design, because you have the third, you're a 1-3, right? So it's in your design to learn how to break bonds. So confidently, and this is one thing that the wounding between the masculine and the feminine is very challenging, in the sense that women will typically feel abandoned by men, and men will typically stay with women or stay in a container for too long because they don't want to abandon the woman. But then again, that just creates more tangling. Part of your 1-3 is to, and especially your man genness, is to learn how to break bonds effectively without, how you say, subtly communicating or unconsciously communicating this abandonment and feeding into that story. What that looks like is setting like really clear parameters. So if there's a mutation that's going on in your relationship, again, really what's happening is you're being invited, especially with the electromagnetic channel, that individual circuitry, you're invited to be alone in that. And so when things come up, and even if you, and take this with a grain of salt, even if you have to suppress some of your own emotions, like if you're really sad about something, um, being stable in your nervous system and in your body, being able to hold her and say, like, hey, we need to take a week apart from each other. You can communicate with me. I'm going to be here, but physically, our auras need to reset. And we're going to take a week. I'll be here. And I want to encourage you, like, I believe in you. Move through what you have to move through. Come back to me because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move through what I need to move through because I want to come back to you. And again, I say in the forefront, lie about that, because in the moment, that's what you want. You're not promising something in the future. When you say, I'm going to come back to you, it's, I'm going to come back to you clearer. I'm going to come back to you less in the emotional wave of, should we be together? Should we not be together? Because I'm going to be able to feel into what I actually want and whether or not I'm getting it and what I want to ask from you. So again, it's very, and it's, again, it's not lying. It's feeding into, or playing around, or how to say, navigating relationships, given the current dynamics of masculine feminine relating. And one of the things that women want from men, I, at least I believe, is stability and trust, that like, hey, you're actually going to go do the thing that you say you're going to go do. And then of course it would be on you to deliver. I'm going to move through this and I'm going to come back to you. Does that mean we're going to be in a relationship? It's like, I will always love you, and I need to go check in with these pieces, because the reality, and this again, you don't have to like explain it all. This is the thing about emotional waves and about individual circuitry and melancholy. People try to explain something that they haven't even felt yet. And so the goal is to be able to break the bond in order to feel, right? And it could be a day, it could be a few hours. Again, they're going to grab at you. She's going to grab at you and be like, I want clarity now. But if you don't have it, that's all you can say. I don't have clarity now. We have to separate for a little bit, for an hour, for a day, for 2 or 3 days, so that I can feel into my emotions. And again, this is one of the most emotionally mature things that you can do. Because what you would do if you were to promise her things in the future is you would have to lie about something else. You'd have to lie about the way that you feel. Because if you're uncertain and you're like, no, no, I want to, how you say, like, I want to be with you, but I don't want to go feel that, you don't know if you want to be with her. So anyway, that was a lot, bro. Let me know if that landed. I know I can kind of like, again, and this is the thing, is like, when it comes to navigating stuff in this way, it's like, how you say, it's like yes and no. So again, that's one of the most incredible channels to have with a partner, is the 214, because you feel like you can do anything. But then it's like, again, it'll flip and you'll feel like you guys can't do anything. When it flips, give yourself permission to like go back into your own aura and then come back. Like, you sync up with your 2, she let her sync up with her 14, and then be boop, and then come back together and let it be awesome. Also, as that third line, like, get comfortable with breaking the bond, because I'm a 3-5, and I broke the bond with my partner many times. I still do it to this day. Like, I'll tell her, like, look, this is something that I want in the relationship, and if I'm not going to get it, and it's not like me strong arming her, but like, seriously, like, if you're not going to take care of yourself or these things, it's gonna be really hard for me to work with you. So I'm gonna be watching the next 28 days and watch how you communicate. And that's as much for the relationship as it is for me and myself, and recognizing that as much as I love someone else, I can't side with them and suppress my own inner authority. I mean, I can, but it sucks, and I'm not willing to do it. Its purpose is to be able to comfortably sit with your emotions instead of using them as a tool to make choices and react. Yeah. And it's uncomfortable as hell. That's the whole point. Fundamentally, human design teaches to accept yourself and surrender to life's flow. Yep, exactly. And to do that in a like a somatic way, to do that in a feeling type of way, as opposed to like basing it off of human design. To do it based off of, oh, my heart is opening or my spleen is sharpening. It doesn't really feel safe. Not it looks unsafe. It like actually feels unsafe. And then to detangle the feeling of like, why does it feel unsafe? Oh, well, because the mind usually sees this and it associates that with unsafety. Okay, so do I just avoid that my entire life, or do I use that as an opportunity to feel stronger? Do I use that as an opportunity to get stronger, to get more capable? I see the universe nudged me here for a reason. Isolated. Welcome, welcome. Lexi or Larry, I'm not a quad right. I am a my personality variables go left, my design variables go right. So yeah, anyway, Jacob, let me know if that landed. If that was confusing, I totally I totally get it. Sometimes trying to communicate this stuff again, it's like there's so many answers that I don't have. I just know how to ask questions around like, hey, did the thought approach you to break the bond? Are you afraid of that? You really told me something I totally need. That's what I'm here for, man. I really want to give those things to people, because again, it's like if I can share something with you that gets you to find something within yourself, like that's the goal. It's not like you're not getting downloads from me. I'm resonating, we're co-regulating, and something inside you is resonating. Just remembered I'm a generator. I'd like to eat my food in the sun. Oh, you might be a direct light person, or have direct light determination. Difference between 3-5 and 4-6, you got the martyr heretic, and then you've got the opportunist role model. They're both probably late bloomers. Um, the areas where they differ is that the 3-5 is more solution oriented, whereas the 4-6 is more community oriented. Like the 4-6 will probably hang on to communities for longer than the 3-5. 3-5 would much rather burn it down and find a new community. That's also, I'm a 3-5. What's the difference between personality and design? How much control do we have over these? So we actually don't have control over anything. We can command things, but only to a degree. Control implies that there's like you control everything. Typically, when people say stuff like control your emotions, you don't control your emotions, you channel them. Control your fear, you don't control your fear, you channel it. You either channel it towards making yourself stronger or finding safer spaces. And one is not better than the other. It's just, is it appropriate for your situation? Um, Hate the heat in AZ. I got heat sickness yesterday. Oh, what's your environment? Is there a spiritual reason why you keep your hair long? Um, totally. It's like my antenna, but then also it's like, I just like the way it feels. I like the way it looks. It's like there's something aside from, so it's a way of self-care, and it's actually a way of tracking myself. Like I notice when I'm brushing my hair more often and taking better care of my hair, I have greater self-awareness, greater reflection capacity, etc. Hi Marco, just joined the archive this week. Welcome. Yes. I was wondering and hearing your take on this. I have gate 5.4 design and gate 63.1 personality under the earth. In the simplest term, how do these gates ground me? 5 is rhythms, so mundane rhythms, like having a morning meditation or a nightly routine, super duper important for you. And then gate 63.1, that's going to be confused. So don't trip over confusion. When you're confused about something, learn how to handle the pressure of confusion. And especially if you don't have 47, which actually, let me go verify. I might even just go look at your body graph. Ah, yes, I see you. My mental projector friend. Okay, so you do have the okay, so you have the 63 but no 4. Okay, so confusion is I want to say confusion is your friend, but it's not necessarily a sign that something isn't working. It's better for you, it's more natural for you to deal with confusion than it is to deal with doubt. So when doubt comes up, that's when you're going to want to have like a mundane rhythm. So anytime doubt comes up, you start projecting yourself in the future. I don't know about this, I don't know about that. Let your solutions be neck drills and head and ajna drills as a way of like meeting those doubts with something physical. So anything like throat related or head and ajna related in the archive, go check it out. And again, permission to like pop around, and you don't necessarily have to go through all of the centers. I would recommend going through all of season one at least. But once you're through season one, you'll have a sense of internal authority of what centers to explore. But definitely head and ajna throat stuff, because with doubt there's also this desire to speak the solution and see the solution manifest. Like you want the doubt to be quelled, but you don't have the circuitry to supply the solutions. And so what you're going to do instead is you're going to build that channel to your throat. And I would say also, while you're doing your exercises, it's a good time to like speak out loud and soundboard. Actually, you reflected some of my thinking patterns. Oh, interesting. What is your thoughts? You say I'm a mental projector and resonate as a reflector. Makes sense. Like a lot of mental projector nuances are very similar to um, reflector nuances, in that we both have an authority that is heavily contextualized by the environment. Meaning a mental reflector or a mental projector and a reflector walk into a bar. The generators are having a good time. Some generators are not having a good time. Manifestors are over here just like either having a good time or like being on their own. Mental projectors and reflectors, they're sampling everything. So they're feeling all the sacral energy in the room. They're feeling all the solar plexus emotional energy. They're feeling all the splenic information. They're feeling all the root pressure. The difference is that where a mental projector, from my perspective, will probably have a more challenging time tolerating those kinds of environments. The reflector will kind of just be able to seal up and like be a perfect clone, whereas the projector, they'll always be, their mind will always be there sort of analyzing. So I would say it's more important for mental projectors to create robustness as a means of exploring the way that they want to, but ultimately finding a cool like community or good group, good environment to be in. Whereas a reflector, I've noticed, and I have a beautiful environment, but there's part of me that like really loves to go into not necessarily chaotic environments, but nuanced environments, and being able to explore and sample different things. Like the goal of, again, is to get to the point where it's not like, oh, I have to keep myself safe. Sometimes you have to do that, but the goal would be like, okay, I'm strong enough now to go to this area that used to affect me. Like I used to not be able to go to bars. Now I can go to bars, but I don't need to go to bars. I don't usually go to bars. It's not just on my path. But now I can at least go in there now without getting floored. Can reflectors feel what correctly to be done in order to make stuff better in an environment? Yes, but only if they're in their signature. A lot of reflectors, unfortunately, are way too conditioned. Same thing with mental projectors. A lot of mental projectors are way too conditioned to be able to give accurate reads on what's happening. And I would say, in terms of like a mental projector, they can help better with guiding what's going on. As a reflector, I'm just here to say this is not what this is not cool. I'm not into this. What should we do next? You could explore these things, but really, you're gonna have someone in your community that's gonna be actually affected by it and be less not giving a fuck. Talk to the projector. Jacob landed. Needed to hear this. Love you, bro. This happened to me already. Okay. Okay. Yes. So it is, and it again, relationships are hard, man. Like it doesn't mean that, this isn't supposed to make relationships easier. It's supposed to just make you more confident in navigating it. So love this. Yep. Love, I just need time. Please be patient. I need to leave. And she's awesome. She tolerated this. Dude, not an article at all. I love it. That's so great. Yeah, so great. And then just like verification of what you're already doing. And this is so important to recognize. And not that I don't love when you come in and ask questions like this, but bro, you have such a sense of your authority already just from the work that you've been doing for the past few months. Like extrapolate this 2, 3 years down the line, it's gonna be so wild. And I say that because I remember you were asking before about your purpose in life, and it's like, dude, this is it. Learn how to navigate relationships. Learn how to trust your inner authority. It's so important. You're already doing so well, man. Malaya, I love this. So anytime I'm feeling doubt, focusing on the neck, head, and ajna drills, building the throat channel, physical soundboarding during. Yes, exactly. And also, physical soundboarding is not necessarily just like speaking. It can also be like you're thinking about the doubt, and it's like get those sounds out of your body, because they're not meant to be circulated within your body. That's why you have the hanging gate there. It's not so much doubting info keeps me grounded, right? No, it's how you respond to the doubt. It's how you respond to the doubt. Because again, when doubt comes, it's this mental projection into the future. It's like, what happens after this, right? After completion, after we do this, what happens then? And the four, the youthful folly, or the solutions or the formulas, that's what's supposed to create the conceptualization. And so one of the things is that you will attempt to, if you don't fill that space with your head drills, you know, face stuff, all that stuff. You don't fill that with that, you're going to fill it with other people's solutions on how you should live your life. That's the mechanic of it. Especially if you have someone with a 4 in your life, and not that their solutions are wrong. Some of them might be totally correct for you. But especially being a mental projector, yeah, learn to bridge those gaps with your maneuvers and your nervous system so that you don't rely on other people to do that for you. Really interested in how reflectors and projectors differ and what are their similarities. Yeah, it's I mean, I'm in a relationship with a splenic projector. Where's the clipper when we need them? I know, right? Well, I have a feeling we'll find like the perfect person. And that's the thing, is like what I envision, just to share with you guys, I envision a clipper reaching out to me saying, "Hey, I clip videos for, Kai Sanat, or I clip videos for like someone that's really big, and I've been watching your stuff and I want to do clips for you. These are some of my work. Um, yeah, would you be willing to like counsel me and train me, because I don't want to be paid by you. I want to like learn from you, and I'll pay him and counsel him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we're all more adventurous and energetic, or we're all responding to gate 12 being in transit, and we're all thinking that we need to be more energetic or outspoken or impressive. Not that that's wrong, but again, there's multiple energetic systems that exist on the planet Earth. The best thing that you can do is be attuned to the energetic system that matters the most, which is your physical body. And what I say by that is because some people live their life based off astrological transits, some people live their life based off human design transits. I live my life off of how the transits are affecting my body. And this is not a hard thing to do. It's actually one of the most simple things you can do. However, it's so incredibly tempting to let astrology transits or human design transits, or energetic daily upkeeps, people that you follow online, to be the external authority and influence your decisions. I'm not saying they shouldn't exist. What I am saying is that if they overpower you, like if you have a strong feeling about something and all it takes is for them to make one video and it changes your mind like that, you're not giving too much power away, but you're not accessing enough of your power to be able to be in connection with somebody that has that strong of an authority. And no one is going to keep you safe from that kind of stuff. I have to pee. I love you guys. If you are enjoying this, please do me a favor, like the live, share the live. I want to get really good at getting this number higher, getting the likes up. Also, don't tap with your thumb, because I know you do too much of that. Tap with your pinky or your ring finger. That's going to help you get a little bit more into your, or rather, not necessarily going to help you get out of your sympathetic, but it won't drive you deeper into your fight or flight response. So tap with your ring finger or pinkies. Don't tap with the thumb, because again, you probably do too much of that. And as much as I want the likes, I don't want you to mess yourself up anymore. I'm gonna go pee, like, share the live. Thank you guys. I'll be right back. Am I the only one? My one now practicing that? I guarantee you're not. No, there's probably a bunch of people doing that now. And I do that too. Like I have a handful of people that I love to go on their lives. And I have a buddy, Cody the Sound Healer. If you guys don't know him, Cody the Sound Healer, amazing musician, just sweet dude. And I'll like, whenever catch one of his lives in my feed, I just like take it as an opportunity, and I'll just like lay down or like sit with my phone and I'll just like ding 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 ding. I'll like do little drumming exercises because in the archive we have quite a handful of how you say hand exercises that are going to help you access your heart. The hands are connected to the heart center in human design. I do one-on-one sessions, indeed. Indeed, I do. I love doing one-on-one sessions. I haven't been doing that many of them lately. I tied up my own availability by being with my family, so I basically I jacked my price up. But if you want to get one, the calendar is uh, on my website, reikimarco.com. I also would invite you before you do a one-on-one session because I think in terms of bang for your buck, unless you really need someone to like kick your ass, um, join the archive. Spend a couple months in the archive because literally what I will tell you is join the archive. I'll give you some maneuvers to get you started and give you a layout. But if you join the archive um, pre-session, you can get a lot of work done by yourself, I guarantee. How can I connect with you? Yeah, so come join the archive and introduce yourself. Archive is 37 bucks or 333 for the entire year, which brings it down to 27 bucks a month. So 37 bucks a month or 27 bucks a month in the archive. Again, I don't want you to spend money needlessly. And I genuinely believe that everything that we're doing in the archive, unless you really need like a personal one-on-one session, I'm pretty sure you can get what you're looking for in the archive and possibly even more. And if you want to do a one-on-one, I'm open for that. Any advice on moving through fear slash guilt grief association with mistakes made in the past? Yeah, reposturing yourself. So, what is the posture of the grief? Is it like this? Is it like this? Is it like this? What's the face that you make? Um, and like really like allowing yourself to go there. Like, people talk about like, oh, don't relive the past. It's like actually relive the past. Relive it. Relive the emotion of it. Stop trying to hide from it. Because if you don't relive it and renegotiate how it shows up in your life and what posture, so go into the posture, feel what you need to feel. Typically, cry your tears, sweat, scream, say what you need to say. Say what you need to say. And then come into a posture that's more embodied. Example, stepping on a slug slash loving or trusting someone who betrayed you. Oh. I feel guilt sometimes too, stepping on slugs, especially because my daughter she really loves slugs. Tiny Diny, bring me the Tiny Dinies. Oh, I think I'm doing stars. Oh, no, no. I do have Tiny Dinies. Oh, yeah, I haven't done gifts in a while. But there's some gifts there. Thanks, fam. Thanks, fam. In order to truly feel alive, one must die while he is alive. Yeah, and the French have a term, it's called le petit doumont, which is the tiny death or the little death. And there's parts of you that are being laid to rest every day. Cells die every day. And so grief is a way of being, and living with grief is different than doing grief work in the sense that it's like, if you do grief work, it's as though you like go somewhere to do some work and then you come back to your life rather than like, hey, you have to learn how to like live with grief. I remember that phrase was it from Home Alone? Um, yeah, like learning how to like live with grief. And it's like learning how to live with emotions or learning how to live with anxiety. It's not that you just accept it. It's you just become bigger than it, become bigger than the grief. What does the grief allow you to appreciate because you haven't appreciated? Or what does the guilt allow you to appreciate? Because I have guilt motivation, which I'm not going to go into talking about motivation, so please don't ask too much about that. Uh, the uh, the whole point of like having proper motivation is knowing how to use, for instance, fear as a fuel to develop courage, using emotion as a fuel to develop clarity around the truth with a capital T, to sift through your truth and your version of the truth and your opinion to see what's actually true. How to live with anxiety as a fuel for certainty. Me too, guilt motivated. I forgot. Yeah. So that's the thing is like, if you're, especially if you're guilt motivated, because I'm guilt motivated, I guilt trip myself all the time. Like earlier, I was like, oh, I have to go run the keys up so that my nana can take my daughter to the park to go watch some horseback riding lessons. And I was like, oh, but I was like, I could be on time to my call today or to my this live, and I was just like, yeah, but then I'll feel guilty about not running the keys up, and so I ran the keys up, and that's just how it goes. I learned how to use my guilt to get me to do things so that I don't have to like deal with it later or deal with the fallout of, well, I gave my word on this, so I said I'd do something and then I ended up not doing it. I feel guilty. So learning how to leverage things like obstacles, like anxiety, like doubt, like confusion, and instead of it being like, oh, what do I do with this? It's like, hey, you just fucking put it in your body, like upload something from your body that can counterbalance the doubt or confusion or anxiety or emotions, so that you can safely experience those things and not crash out later. It's hard to overcome my apathy, and that is the freaking point, my friend. It's like apathy, not wanting to do things. It's like, you're like, oh, I want heat, but I don't want to put wood in the fire. Like, give me heat first, and then I'll put wood in the fire. It's like you have to put wood in the fire first before you get the heat. These are just, again, and this is the thing. Why a lot of people are so apathetic is because you're allowed to be apathetic now. Before, if you were too apathetic, you just survival of the fittest would just take you out. You know what I mean? It's like nowadays you don't have to hunt your food, and so you don't develop the right enzymes because you're not running after food or bending down to pick things up or throwing spears. You don't get the chemical release, and so you have to create the chemical release through the mechanics. And that's a part of the archive too, is we teach you what are the mechanics of throwing, what are the mechanics of walking and running, what are the mechanics of being a human being, because so much of that has been stripped away from us. And it's life is more convenient now than ever, but guess what, now people are doing battle on a front that they can't see, they can't feel it, but it crushes them every day. And so in terms of apathy, like what I would say is your first step is to literally just go on a freaking walk every day. And accept that your apathy is there, and that the only way it's going to get better is if you start to resist it. Apathy is overcome when people celebrate small wins, like doing exactly like walking. Like I said, walking is one of the most important things you can do as a human being. How far, how much? Well, I don't know what your threshold is. You might walk for 5 minutes and be like, I'm bored. Great, walk for 10 minutes. If you can walk for 10 minutes, walk for 20 minutes. That's the thing, again, about apathy and about the laziness or the sloth. Like, you don't overcome a vice with some magic pill. You overcome a vice with a virtue. You overcome a vice with self-love and recognizing that, like, hey, you have something to give to the world. And if you don't overcome your apathy, you're going to die with that gift inside you. And that gift could literally save somebody's life or literally inspire somebody to overcome their apathy. Like, your life is so much more than just your life. Like, you have an impact here. And you also will have an impact if you don't overcome your vices. Like, they're not just there to push you down. They're there to give you something to stand up against. Like, we have gravity to stand up against. It's called levity. Steven, you're the man. That definitely boosted it. Harsh piece of advice from my chart, or maybe even other management. Bro, bring it on, Steven. Bring it on. Thank you for the likes, by the way, homie. Yeah, we're at 16,000 now. Thank you guys for tapping. Appreciate you. You know, my open ego plays a crucial part here. Like, always comparing myself to others. Yeah. And there's a part of you that's like, oh, I have to prove myself. And that's where you're attempting to draw motivation from. I have to prove to other people that I can do this. It's not, you're not here to prove to other people. Essentially, you're here to kind of like prove to yourself that you can overcome it. That's always what it's about. Is like your only competition is the person that you were yesterday. And so keeping things in context of like, if you walk yesterday, great. You walk today, great. Tomorrow you walk, great. The day after you don't walk, it's like, am I better than I was yesterday? Well, why did I not walk? Serious question. Why did I not walk? Be honest with yourself. Why did I not walk? Oh, well, you know, I made an excuse. Oh, okay. Is the day over? No. Go walk. Great. Is the day over? Yep. Great. Walk the next day. Like, that's the thing. Another thing about the open heart is like, you'll confuse jumping off a cliff, jumping off a path, being so far away from your path when it's literally physically impossible for you to do that. That's why you start small with these habits. Open centers operate from the mind. We overthink there. Not necessarily. Open centers, undefined centers will be conditioned through the mind and through other people. So it's going to operate generally, if you're conditioned, they operate through the mind. But your organs, your energy centers can operate in and of themselves. Like my solar plexus is not very conditioned. Like there'll be people with emotional issues that I really care about and I love. Cool, that's great. Um, but in terms of emotions, like that's not for me to cook. That's not my business. And I'll watch my mind be like, oh, you could help them a lot. And my solar plexus will be like, yeah, but we don't have energy for that. If we do that, we're not gonna have energy for the emotional wave that's coming. And I'm like, what do you mean the emotional wave that's coming? And they're like, if you get your nose in your own business, you'll find out. And it's like, oh, okay, great. Because the solar plexus too is very much so about like, how does this feel when I'm with other people? Is it appropriate when I'm with other people? Or is it being forced to do something that it doesn't want to do when I'm around another person? Marco, you are like my long lost fairy god brother. So many. The fairy god brother. Wait, I have something around here. It's not a wand. I was looking for a wand, but I have a lightsaber torch. Well, I'm stoked you're here. 'Cause again, it's like, and I struggled with this for a long time, and I'm so happy that I found and finally like pulled the trigger and created the archive, because I've always wanted a way to like help people for free, but then also give people who are willing to give to me and be in this state of reciprocity to be able to help them a lot more. And that's exactly what the archive is. Like it's just like my private community. There's a tiny paywall, and you can get over the paywall. Again, it costs less than like dinner, and you get access for an entire month. Um, I love it so much. And of course, for all the people that join the archive, there's plenty of people that are like silently just doing everything in the background. And I'll hear from them 4 or 5 months down the line. And there's people that join and they're excited and they get involved and they make it happen. And I hear about them right away. And I love that too. But for any of the archive people or the people that are in the archive that are just like quietly plugging away, I love you too. What do I want to say? I asked, was it difficult for you to differentiate your own experience from that of others? It used to be. It's not anymore. And again, it's because of the way that I train. So the way that I train, and it's all laid out in the archive. It's in sensory design. The way that I train specifically is I work on 3 points. I work on afferent feedback, so getting my senses refined, being able to see things that are over there, using my peripheral vision, being able to smell, being able to swallow the pills of life, because a lot of the time, again, people will live with blinders on. This is your paradigm. And while you can't entirely erase the paradigm, you can open up the satellite dish more and more and more and get more information. The reason people don't do that is because they think the information will have an overload, but that's just because they process with their mind. And that afferent, what you see, is just one part of the thing. So process, get it into my system. That's afferent feedback. Swallowed into my body, that's processing. This is where I learned, this is where discomfort and pain, all of that just becomes sensation. High pressure becomes tolerable. High heat, that makes me want to run away, becomes my training partner and my coach that says, actually, you can handle this. Hold that for a little bit longer. Put a little bit more effort into it. And again, you have to develop this within yourself. You can hire a coach, but they're going to help you develop it within yourself. Develop it within yourself. Then the expression of it. So the things that I train are martial arts, walking, running, throwing, climbing, sitting, standing. That's it. I don't do CrossFit. Calisthenics are cool. I'll have rings that I do pull-ups on, but mostly I'm like swinging my lightsaber, like trying to become more deadly, throwing punches. Yeah, that's how I train, and that over the years has made me incredibly resilient to the point where I'm not really confusing other people's lives and other people's energies with my own. I have a very tangible relationship with myself. Oh, Steven, was that the advice you wanted? A harsh piece of advice? I'm sorry, bro. I thought you were gonna ask a question that might have a harsh response, but if you just want a harsh piece of advice on, I love that, bro. Dude, that makes me so happy. Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go in on you, bro. Okay, for the man gens, particularly the man gens with the channel of struggle. If you didn't have something to struggle against, life would be even more meaningless than it is. If you didn't dig yourself into such a deep hole that you have to sacrifice everything and try your absolute most to get out of, life would have no meaning for you. Anyone with the channel of struggle, this is all melancholy. If you didn't have such intense, melancholy, self depreciating thoughts, if you didn't have any of that, life would be even worse than it might appear to you now. That's the harsh piece of advice. Embrace the struggle, embrace the melancholy. Use it to become the absolute like epitome of a human being. Because you're the one that's gonna let us know this is worth struggling for. This is like I want to live. So life is worth living, despite all the struggle. Life is worth living, despite all of the I don't know if I should say this. I don't know if I should say this. It's worth figuring that stuff out. And that again, if you didn't have that, life would be even more horrific than it is now. Good piece of advice. That's a very, as Jervin would say, Master Jervin would say that is a wonderful question for your spiritual development. You literally reflect thinking patterns back to others. Yeah, and sometimes I'll reflect emotions back to others. But again, I know how to reflect something without necessarily taking it on or taking it personally if someone doesn't like the reflection. And that's actually how I sort through my people. Like if you don't like the reflections that I give you, or you can't handle them, and I thought you could, and it's like, oh, I thought you were stronger than you were. Apparently, you're not. Great. Thanks for letting me know. Like I'm not an ice king, but if you can't handle how cold I can get and you can't handle how hot I can get, I don't know what you want out of this. Like if you don't want me to be me in our relationship, I don't know what you want out of this, and I'm not here to find out. Come on over, ride the rising tide, absorb the sunshine with sacred nature glide. Thank you, brother. Yeah, man. For me, it's like it's enjoyable. It's enjoyable in the sense that like again, like I'm my life is there's a lot of struggle in my life. There's a lot of doubt in my life. There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of anxiety in my life. I just don't let it win. Sometimes it wins, and I'm grateful for that because if I was always winning, that would mean that I'm kind of like in an echo chamber and I'm just coddling myself from the world. But I deal with a lot of different emotions and anxieties and fears in my life, especially being a dad. I just don't let them win all the time. Like I haven't given up the fight. And that might be one of the things that like hopefully I inspire you, like, don't give up the fight. If you need to rest, rest, but then get the fuck back up and fight. Do reflectors possess truth-seeking abilities? We all do. I think the solar plexus in general is wanting the truth. Solar plexus as well is celiac ganglia, which is a bundle of nerves. It's digestion, it's lungs, it's your ability to process relationships and like spiritual essence, and food to a degree as well. Like for instance, your celiac ganglia or your stomach will let you know when something that you've eaten doesn't agree with you. It'll make you throw up. It'll make your stomach tight. And if you don't listen to that, and whether it's with food or other people's emotions, again, you don't listen to it. That's you suffer the consequences, which is living in a lie. Yeah. I mean, like, what do you feel um, when reading my comments? I feel like you know exactly what you need to do, but there's something holding you back, and I can't help you in that sense. Like, I know you want help, but my help can only extend um, to everything that I've done. Like, you have to help yourself. I know that as a human being, if you're a human being on the other side and not a bot, which I don't feel like you're a bot, um, dude, you're so worth it. Or milady, you're so worth it. Like you have to show that to yourself. And the best way that I know how to do that right now, and the most affordable way, truly the most affordable way, is to come check out my membership and come do Come do sensory design. Sorry, I had to verify my NPC-ness. Yeah, because I feel like your mind is so strong, and your body doesn't necessarily know how to even begin doing battle with it. Because it's kind of like that. Like your mind is a mechanism that observes the external world and who has power and what's working, and your organs, your inner organs, are what's doing the work to keep you alive. And most of the time, people are living through their minds. They're trying to do the thing that's smart. They're trying to do the thing that works for this person or that person. And they're just overstimulated and burnt out. How do I even begin to fight against my mind? Because the mind is able to recruit that person who has a million followers, that person who's so beautiful, it's ridiculous, that person who's so rich and loves their life and career. And so there's so much comparison going out there. And but it's like I will say as well, every time you come into this live and you let me like slap you around and say wake the fuck up, that's taking a step. Just don't do that for many years. Like save up some money, get in the archive, and let make some magic happen in your life. Fairy god broadcasting fireball. Yeah, I've loved that, Malaya. I've never seen myself as a fairy. As funny enough, I always used to be like really kind of like off put by fairy energy. Um, in the sense that how you say, a lot of the times fairies, at least in the spiritual world, or people that identify with fairy, they're very flaky, they're very floaty, they're not very grounded, they're super fun, but the things that I really care about, practicality, they don't really have much of that. And so I love the idea that, because I'm super fun, I'm not flaky, I'm none of those things, but I do have a lot of fairy like qualities. And I've often said, if you've never had like a brother or a cool dad in your life, let me be that for a little bit. But remember that I'm also just me. I'm just me. And that as much as, um, I can't be your dad, I can't be your brother, I can share some of these. How you say, lessons with you, but I don't want you to see me as your teacher. I want you to see me as somebody that's like obsessed with learning, so much to the point that it inspires you to also learn and to accept. Literally comparing myself to others nonstop in my head, and I do want to possess all the stuff others do. Again, I totally get it, I do it too. The difference is that I've spent years meeting that, comparing myself with others, with actually improving myself and starting with where I'm at, right? Because again, the goal is not to make that go away. The goal is to make that not such a heavy thing to carry. And the only way to do that is to just make your nervous system stronger. And there's, again, everyone has their own unique paths. It's very tempting for me to like you get into teacher mode. But the more that you learn about your physical body, the more that you learn about your eyes and how to unglue them from your head, the more that you learn about accept your limited peripheral vision, the more that you accept the exercises. Like, oh, it's really hard to swallow here. Okay, that's where we need to focus. Because again, everyone thinks that, oh, there's something uniquely wrong with them. It's not a personal problem. It's a neurological dysfunction. It's a physiological dysfunction, and those dysfunctions can be fixed. For 99.9% of the cases, those dysfunctions can be fixed. Where most people will go towards medication or they'll go to therapy, the real answer is in your body. The real answer is in your form, regardless of whether it's super weak or messed up or you're missing an arm or anything like that. Love this. Yes. Fairy god bra. Fairy god bra. Fairy god brother. And like I guess a fairy godparent too is kind of the way. Like I come in and like sprinkle you with fairy dust and then I slap you. Because that's really my design. If you look at my design, I'm here as a 3-5 reflector on the cross of rulership. So the rulership, it's 22, 47, 26, 45. It's rulership. It's about education. It's about distributing what's necessary, the resources. It's about having the best resources at the best price, being able to offer people the most resources in a way that like really allows me to be in a state of like people just trust me with dishing out the information. And I'm starting to embrace it, which is awesome. Oh, the keys are on the tire. I don't know if she can hear me. I do have keratoconus. It's an ophthalmology disease. Oh, I don't even know about that. I'm gonna look it up real quick. Because we've literally gotten helped people get off their medication. We've literally helped people get out of surgery, like to the point where they don't need surgery. Oh, dude. So this is very interesting. So it's an eye condition where the cornea, the clear front part of the eye, gradually thins and bulges out into a cone shape, leading to blurry and distorted vision. That's it, right? Oh, dude, we can fix this. Or rather, you can fix this. I don't have it, so I wouldn't be able to fix it. But another really cool thing for you to look into, Vasco, is if you just type in that symptom, and I just did it right now, and then type in German New Medicine, there's a whole field of study that's emerging. I guess it's been emerging that talks more about the behavioral issues behind some of these diseases in terms of like the conflict and the active healing phase. Look into some of that because again, it's like I feel like you're looking for answers that I don't necessarily have because I'm the one that's hopefully stressing you out enough that you save enough money to join the archive and you start doing these eye exercises and stuff. I'm having a hard time accepting my partner's sexuality outside of me, as in what he's naturally and privately attracted to. What kind of plan, what kind of blockage is this, and how can I get past it as I'm a man gen with emotional authority? So, and this is again, this is a very delicate situation. I'm not trying to be like the home wrecker. Um, but one of the things is like, what in you feels like you have to stay with that partner? And I get if there's children involved because it's I get that. But what in you feels like you can't just say, "Hey, partner, like I'm going to reject these. I'm rejecting you based off of your sexuality and your attractions um, privately." Serious question with love. Because my partner rejected me based off some of my attractions. Like she found some people that I was following on Instagram and that I was commenting on. This was years ago, and she called me out on it. And she's like, "I don't want to be with someone who likes this kind of stuff." And I said, "Okay, so what, are you gonna break up with me?" And she's like, "Yeah, I don't want to be with someone that likes this kind of stuff." And I'm like, "Oh, but why do I like this kind of stuff?" And so the real question, right, and probably what you're racking your mind on, is it your emotional and sexual insecurity, or is it your partner's um, unchecked and ungrounded sexual energy? And the answer is it's probably both. And becoming more sexually reassured for a woman typically is about fertility, and to have a man that is glorifying and sexualizing women outside of the realms of their ability to have children, to me is a distortion. Like I think women that are objectively beautiful are because of their fertility and their ability to be a divine feminine energy and not a maiden energy. Not that like the maiden hot girls are not valuable or worthy, and same thing for the guys, but it's like again, physical appearances fade. And oftentimes things built on physical appearances fade, crumble, or fall over and crush people and hurt people. That's why we mature throughout life. So anyway, how can I find what emotional conflict led to this disease? So I don't know if you heard that, Vasco, but look up German New Medicine in combination with your mutation. I like calling diseases mutations because it makes me feel like an X-Men. And the thing about mutations and X-Men is like, for instance, Wolverine has a plight that no one can understand. even Professor X is like, I want to help you, but this is something only you can unravel. And so when you stop seeing disease as like you being put into a category with a bunch of other people, see it as a mutation that only you can learn to like overcome. Great for anybody with any kind of diseases, because doctors, again, they, as much as doctors are wonderful, and I love modern medicine, and I love all of the energy and time, and I appreciate all of it. And it's like, bro, that's like one side of the coin. That's one side of the Metatron's cube. That's one petal of the flowers of life. Is this like purely logical? It only because there's people have experienced healing miracles. Straight up, people have experienced healing miracles, and at one point we thought we knew everything about medicine, and then we discovered this and this treatment and that treatment. And so don't be so sure about your diagnosis and the fatality of it, because again, you might be the person who's like, oh, I reversed this disability, I've reversed this mutation, and I'm quote unquote functional now. Like, I don't have that mutation happening anymore because I became bigger than it. Like, I ate the mutation and I digested it and I cooked it with my tummy. So anyway, mindful moment. How did that land with you? Again, like, relationships, they're not supposed to be easy. They're not supposed to be like, I mean, they're not supposed to be fucking anything. But how did that land with you? I'm curious. Especially because for me, that's like, again, I'm just a dude on the internet that you guys are listening to in terms of these are my opinions. This is also like the results of my experiment, which I've been experimenting for quite a bit. You said something so accurate. I emotionally want to improve, but my body is not accustomed to the negative emotions. Yes, exactly. So, and this is a concept that is called tolerance. And most of the time, people talk about tolerance in the form of like, oh, I tolerate this person. Like, I have to tolerate that you exist. I don't like you, but I tolerate that you exist. And it's like tolerance has a spectrum. You can tolerate someone, or it's like if you're racist, like if you're just like straight up racist, and you tolerate people of the race that you don't like, and you tolerate them in a sense of like, oh, I don't really like them, but I'm not gonna like do violence against them. And then there's another end of the spectrum of like, I tolerate them and I want to like eliminate them. Like, it's a pretty wide spectrum. Then deeper into the tolerance, which is where I'm hoping people can get to, is, look, I know that I have resistance towards these people, but I really want to accept them and love them. I'm not there yet, but I want to be. And so it's the term fake it till you make it. Um, it's like with the body. It's like if you walk around all day saying affirmations like this, like your body doesn't believe you. And some of the times it's like because you need to go deeper into the sadness, because you need to go deeper into it and then reemerge. And so anyway, a lot of concepts here, but tolerance is so important. Cultivating tolerance, because at one point it was hard for you to walk, and you eventually created tolerance for walking, and now it's automatic, and you don't think about it, and you underappreciate it. There's people that can't walk. There's children that you know it was too hard for them to learn how to walk, and their parents coddled them, and then so they don't walk much now, and that has led to so many dysfunctions, and they're obese and they're not healthy because their parents said, oh, we're not gonna give you the opportunities to walk. We're just gonna coddle you. A lot of parents do that because they want to be coddled. Martial arts can really improve my tolerance. 100%. Martial arts is big time. Like, there's nothing like getting punched in the face that shows you how fragile your mind actually is, and how incapable you are of defending yourself. And that's one of the reasons why I have the energy that I have, is because I spent a lot of time, like many years, training martial arts, like really really regularly. It's not so much now, um, but it stuck with me because it was from like 5 to like 15, 16. I was like deep in martial arts, like 2 3 times a week, getting private lessons, competing in tournaments. And I'm so happy I did that, because I have a level of confidence that comes from physical capacity, not just mental awareness. And a lot of people have mental capacity, but they don't have the physical and emotional. And you can't have emotional capacity without having physical capacity. Hot take. It's definitely both, but I feel like it's mostly my insecurity, honestly, because it's not like I ever found anything that seriously upset me, but I have my own deep sexual insecurities we talked about extensively, but I feel like I cannot move past it. Okay, so great. You have an awareness of it. One of the ways that you can make yourself more sexually secure is to quite literally um, like make yourself more attractive. And what I mean by that is not put makeup on, but like make your eyes deeper, make your jaw more refined, make your face more symmetrical. And this is something that you can do. Like we have exercises in our membership, face exercises. It's not face yoga, it's like literally cultivating depth, depth in your face, and it will make you more attractive to yourself. On top of that, you'll be able to, it will, as a woman as well, and we've actually had a lot of women talk about how they're like, I don't wear as much makeup. I don't. I'm starting to see myself. I feel like I'm more beautiful than I've ever been. I'm more attractive than I've ever been. And it's because what they're doing is they're connecting with their body. So this is actually a great motivator. Is like I don't feel sexy, so I'm gonna make myself feel sexy, or I feel insecure sexually or emotionally, so I'm gonna make myself better in that arena. You just have to find a place that is again going to um, help you feel that way without just inflating the appearance of it. Because again, the answer is not putting makeup on or stacking on muscle and becoming stronger in that way. The answer is to actually get your nervous system and your face and your satellite dish to see the beauty that's within you. And again, come join the archive. It's $37. You can do a lot of work in a month. You can do a lot of work in a month, and it will get you to the point where, again, you're going to move through a lot of the mental resistance, and that's a big part of it because again a lot of this is probably in your head, and you will also get to the point where you will be able to see and sense, because what you're saying, and I'm not trying to like put your partner on blast, but it's like it's not hard to hide um, something that would seriously upset you. It's not hard to hide it, and you being able to trust your guts and your organs regarding that truth is so much more valuable to you than appearing beautiful. I will say that. So yeah, come turn the lie detector on for yourself, because it's going to simultaneously out your partner, and then it's also going to simultaneously out yourself, which is really the valuable thing. Which is like, why are you insecure about this but not doing anything to um, build your self-esteem in this area? And there's literal things that it's like we have certain classes or sacral classes where you literally are like making, like I'm doing it right now. You can't see it because it's an internal thing, but I'm pressurizing my pelvic floor. I'm saturating my sexual organs. I'm increasing the size of my hips with pressure. This is something that we teach, or you can learn in the archive. I'm already in the archive. I've just been avoiding. Oh man, I love you guys so much. That's honest. As I appreciate that. That's so honest. Do a sacral class today, or better yet, we have a class in 40 minutes that you can attend live. Come through. Come through. Just do that. Come through. Join the live class. I have a feeling something today will be super relevant for you. And also, mindful movement. Have you done any classes yet, or you haven't even started your first class? Again, no shame. It's just all about transparency and honesty. My peace sun is 57. Design moon is 57 in detriment. What would be some of the questions to ponder in order, or drills to sense the difference? Ooh, cool question. Very cool question. 57 ear drills. Ear drills. 57 is connected to the right ear. Let me see if I can give you some more stuff on that too, bro. Um, Here we go. Unease. Balance boards. Get a balance board. Cranial ganglia. Also, like night exposure. How are you with night? Are you like, have you ever been afraid of the dark, bro? I remember I used to be so afraid of the dark. It was like, I used to not be able to go to the bathroom when I was a kid without like turning on all the lights. Yeah. Can't speak for everyone, but I definitely enjoy natural things in all areas of my life. Yeah, yeah, 100%. Yeah, and the thing about shutting down, like you can't really shut down emotions. You just like ignore them. Right? Like you just ignore them or you suppress them, but you can't like actually like turn any of those feelings off. That's why it's so much easier to feel them because what you think might be a long emotional process could just be 15 minutes of you crying your ass off, like really heavy. Thank you. Thank you. I've watched some videos, but avoiding it heavy. Oh, you already said that. So we are at a standstill. I'm not good at it, but I am not giving up. And it was my first time trying to inline skate. After joining the archive, applying many of the drills has worked so much better. Yeah, because again, these are like these the drills that we have here are not specific to any one type of sport. They're specific to being a human being and being alive. What kind of martial arts? So I did kempo, Chinese like it's like street style kung fu, basically. Um, and then I got into Filipino martial arts, Filipino eskrima, stick fighting. But there's a lot of like grappling and limb manipulation and joint destruction and stuff like that. And so I have a pretty well-rounded martial arts. I can do stuff on the ground. I haven't done like a ton of jujitsu, but again, it's like once you understand how the body works, it's not necessarily a, oh, I need to do this to do this. It's like an intuitive kind of like feeling. It's like when and fighters understand because there's a certain clarity that comes when you're in a fight and you actually have to like whether it's a sparring match and you're really invested in it, you're really present with it. Whereas like you can't think about other stuff because your survival and there's pain as a consequence of not being present to what's actually going on. There's pain as a consequence to not being able to channel your emotions into clarity or to successfully suppress, because again it's not about turning emotions off, it's about knowing when it's appropriate to feel your emotions. And a lot of people recognize it's not appropriate to feel my emotions right now, so they'll suppress or wait, but then they never create opportunities or capacity or a space to feel their emotions, and then that unfortunately sucks. Appreciate the information you've given me and really consider joining in. Bosco, appreciate you as well. Again, and we have a few people in the archive that I love so much, and they don't feel like they're making progress. But then they post their pictures and they're like making a lot more progress. And again, even if you don't feel like it's working, just keep tuning in. Don't force yourself to do something that you're not ready to do, and like notice where you are on the edge and let's take little steps towards it. I won't always be doing these lives, but I intend to be doing these lives for the years to come. I really enjoy it. And also with the archive as well, so this will be a resource for humanity long after I pass. Is the goal, is to get people to do that. If I get ringing in the ear, it's usually my right. Yeah, so ear twerks, you remember that one? Head turning and ear torques, throat vacuums. When you're doing your X patterns as well, which is like season 5 stuff, which I think I've seen you in some of the season 5 stuff. Play around with wiggling those ears. But yeah, pretty much. And dude, the ear thing is like, I'll just grab both of them whenever I'm feeling like I need to ground or whenever I have a headache. And for anyone that wants to do this, you just stick your thumb in your ear and you pinch this part and then you twist and then you attempt to use this part, this muscle here to untwist your ear. Like twist your ear with your hands, untwist your ear with whatever muscles you can untwist your ear with. You might even get some little crackies. Manifesting generator, cross of tension. Viking woman. That's an appropriate handle for someone on the cross of tension. creating tension, releasing tension. One of the things that it's so hilarious to me when people say, relax all of the tension out of your body, melt all of the tension away. Because whenever, if anyone ever says that, not that I take many classes from other people, but I've done it before when people will say, relax all the tension out of your body, and we'll be like sitting up, and I'll just like goop on the floor, and then I'll just make fun of them later because they'll be like, did you like lay on the floor? And I was like, say, yeah, you said relax all the tension out of your body. That's what that is, right? And like, oh no, I meant like, you know, like release any tension you're holding in your shoulders or any of that kind of stuff. And I'm like, oh well, because if I don't know how to release all the tension in my body because I need tension in my body, I'm a smart ass sometimes. Anyway, I'm gonna stop telling that story. But January 3rd, I share it with Tolkien. Ah, did he have he was probably cross attention too. I like how you explained the throat and the root chakra. Oh yeah. All the chakras have such a unique relationship with each other as well. Cuz it's like the throat and the root chakra have a beautiful relationship where it's like the root provides cortisol and stress and the pressure to do things. The throat provides a portal of manifestation, a portal of expression. So ultimately, your stress is supposed to be manifested, but it's first supposed to be filtered through your sacral, your solar plexus, and your spleen and your G and your heart. All it moves up all of those centers on its way to the throat. And sometimes it's not appropriate to express a certain type of stress because it hasn't been properly filtered by the body, in which case you have to learn how to tolerate those particular flavors of stress so that they don't pull ideas that are not yours and try to pass them off as your own, or pull solutions that are not yours and try to pass them off as your own. There's so many like unique little flavors of dysfunction. Everyone has a unique dysfunction, but it's not, the goal is not to get rid of the dysfunction, it's to track where is the dysfunction and then continue to saturate and fill that spot with love, fill it with blood, compress it, expand it, like work it like a piece of clay. Because most time people's dysfunctions are either something that's limp, it's flaccid, or it's tonic. It's always hard. We inhale and exhale. Which one are you more consciously better at? Which one do you find more value in? Most people find a lot more value in getting things than they do in giving things. But a lot of people are also obsessed with giving things and they have no idea how to get things or receive things. This is a more spiritual term. I love Tolkien, by the way. I love Tolkien and Frank Herbert. I know they had beef, but I love both of them. Especially with my undefined head. Like I like being able to live in Tolkien's world of like just inherent goodness, and then I also love being able to live in Frank Herbert's world of like, you know, sometimes both choices suck and you have to make the choice, right? It's fun. They're like not necessarily inherently opposite, but it's like Game of Thrones characters versus Tolkien characters. Like there's objectively good characters in Tolkien, and there's in Game of Thrones. It's like, okay, you are a good person, but you also like took that guy out, and you like you were. To me, that world is more realistic. I feel like Tolkien's world is archetypal, and like Game of Thrones and these other worlds are a little bit more true to life, or at least true to modern life. Hey, I just find you on here and I really enjoy your content. Great to meet you. Natalia Starr, welcome. Wonderful to meet you as well. Thank you for TikTok for introducing me to all these wonderful people who have incredible capacity and they just need to be inspired and stressed out a little bit in the right ways and know which buttons to push. Thank you for letting me show them the buttons. Like one of the coolest buttons that you can push, guys, is right up in here. Make your gullet soft. Take your fingers, stab into it. And then when your fingers are up in there, pressurize down. Push your fingers out. This also mindful movement, if you're here, this is a great one. Because this system right here is the same as the sexual system, or it's the mirrored polarity. So if you can learn how to saturate this, that's one of the first steps on learning how to saturate and fill your sexual organs up with blood and whatnot. Yeah, I didn't take my 4 month pics because I've taken a comparison wave, not prioritizing drills outside of class. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's great that you're still coming to class and all that. Take some pics though. What did you comparison wave? Yeah, ride it out. Take some pics. Take them today. I know too. You also, bro, you got like a big beard, so you can't really see as much if you got like the big beard. But I know if again, one of the things that I'll do when I'm riding emotional waves, I'll like clean my space or I'll shave my face. I told Steven to shave his face and he did it, and I feel like that definitely woke something up in him. It'll grow back. I promise it'll grow back. But to be able to see your face, and this used to like really piss me off actually. My dad used to love when I would shave my face. And he's like, "You're so handsome, Mijo. Why do you grow your beard out? Like, why are you hiding your face?" And I'm like, "Oh, I like the beard. It's like, it's cool. It's spiritual." My partner loves my beard too. But every now and then, I will like shave my face. And so it's really funny because my dad likes when I shave my face. My partner doesn't like when I shave my face. What do I like? Especially as a reflector. What do I want to do with my face and my appearance? Is my appearance so that other people can, you know, like the way I look? Partly. But it's a great question. Like, so for instance, like where I'm at now, I would not shave my face because it would be very jarring for my partner. And I need her hormones and everything to be like, it's like clockwork. Like if she's hungry, there's food. If she's very pregnant right now, so it's like I won't do that. But when that baby comes, and after we've kind of like reached some of those humps, when it's appropriate for me to like change things up a little bit, I will freaking change things up because I love to change things up. It's part of what helps me to feel alive in my reflectorness. Surprises. All right, what else are we talking about here, guys? How I give myself a pep talk. I might be depressed, but I'll be depressed with a thick neck, straight up. Dude, that's a shirt. I gotta add that to my. I have so many shirts that I need to make, guys. Frick. Right? Because it's like, what's funny about that, man, is like being depressed with a thick neck and even just having that mentality of like, because depression is a stage and pressure, depress, to press something, to compress something. Sometimes, again, it's appropriate or it's the time in your life to be depressed, but is that are you accepting the depression or are you fighting it? One of the greatest things I learned, I remember I was in a deep depression when I was in college, and I was just like, I'm depressed. I need help. I need help. And then I found Reiki, and I got a lot of help. Not my medium telling me that I need to see a Reiki specialist last night. Well, here I am. I also just filmed the first part of my Reiki course, which I'm going to make available for my archive people in hopefully by the end of the day, but I'm not going to promise that. Definitely by the end of the weekend. Um, I have CRPS. I don't know what that is. Archive question: what is the difference between Monday and Friday sensory design classes? Can you jump in after completing season one? I would say jump in now. There's no, like, in terms of the archive, the flow of it, like what you can expect is there's definitely an expectation that you're going to go through season one because that will introduce you to like all the centers and maneuvers. By the end of season one, you will have like an idea of, oh, no one is really going to be able to tell me a straightforward answer of how do I use this system the best, because the answer, like what we're wanting people to do is to discover answers within themselves. And so permission to do season one, And then if you feel called, I'm going to go to season 3. I'm going to join live class. I would also say, just like at any point, you're always welcome to join live class. Some things might go over your head, but that's totally fine. Once you start, again, just start participating and getting the ball rolling. The difference between Friday and Monday is no, there's no difference. It's like a continuation. We're building out this community and sensory design because it's very experiential. No one has really connected the dots between spirituality and physical movement in terms of like what we're doing with human design. And so much of this is super experimental. On top of that, we're not trying to be the authority and saying, oh, do this and then do this and then do this and then do that. We can do that, but it's much better if you develop that internal authority and navigate yourself. Complex regional pain syndrome. Oh, I don't know much about that. There's a lot of, again, mutations, quote unquote, diseases. Oh yeah, baby, that are that are they are made up diagnosis in the sense that, not saying that your experience with it isn't real, but there are things that they don't know how to categorize them, and so they categorize them and then they subcategorize them as a means of attempting some sort of experimentation or treatment for it. And so, like, of course, like autism didn't exist, what, 50 years ago, 20 years ago? When does autism even become a thing? And it's an umbrella. There's so many unique flavors of it. And so, in terms of treating it, how do we treat it? People study it as a trying to find a way to like make a treatment that works for everyone when it's literally like the 80s. Okay, good to know. And so, my whole point is like, again, the medical system, love what it does, and I hate what it does. I hate how it strips authority away from people. I hate how it convinces people that other people know more about your body because they've studied other people's bodies. Again, it's not inherently bad. It's just there's 100% ego driven people, money hungry, greedy people that are in power and control what gets standardized and what doesn't get standardized. And so this is where like, Reiki and alternative medicine is super helpful, because it's like, it's just like, hey, give yourself permission to like do some woo woo stuff, do a little bit of woo woo stuff. They label things to control them. Yeah, they define it. And you see this reflected in human design. Like, a lot of people see their undefined centers as broken. It's like, they're not broken. They're just trying to be something that they're not. Doctors are trying to heal people or fix people, when in reality the goal of a doctor should be to, and you see this a lot more in Eastern medicine, should be to help the person keep themselves healthy so that they don't have all these dysfunctions. They keep pushing me for a spinal cord simulator, and that's a big no for me, thank you. So fam, come join the archive immediately, because my partner Pasha, who I run the archive with, he is a spine specialist. He doesn't do surgery though. He teaches you how to activate parts of your body and mechanics in your body so you can bring your spine into alignment energetically, physically. Helps you push through the pain, helps you like whatever treatment that you gonna like, you can avoid, you can probably avoid surgery by working with Pasha, is what I'm saying, because he's helped so many people do that. They should be trying to heal, and yet they're only in it for the money. Not all, however, most. Yeah, exactly. It's again, like a politician at one point, being a politician was it was a vocation. You were a baker, and because you were well respected in your community, you were elected to a point of politician. Now we have professional politicians. Why? Because we're trying to apply a one size fits all. These laws are going to govern all these people, etc. And we're not paying attention to nature's laws, because nature's laws tell us exactly how to govern ourselves. And it's small ecosystems, it's tribes. But then again, our beautiful minds get involved, and now we're living in cities. We're living on top of each other. If you live in a high rise, one of the things that you probably don't want to think about, but there's people's shit that literally moves through the walls of your house. Maybe even right behind your kitchen where you cook your food. Maybe right where you sleep. There's people's poop and pee running past your head. I'm sorry. Yeah. You follow the flow of the seasons, it'll increase your wage. I can't stop. This is the truth. This is the truth. Get out of the city. No, the cities aren't bad. It's just again, you can't if you because here's the thing. I could be in a city. Not for long though. Not for long. I have a capacity. It's limited. It's a lot I have a lot more capacity than most people that live in cities, but it is limited. It is limited. You can learn to tolerate this stuff, but not forever. Not with like you can't go too long without drinking water. You can't go too long without drinking or taking a breath. And so, yeah, we're showing people how to, or reminding people of how simple the medicine is to access, and it's right in your body. And the archive, what is the archive? So the archive is a community. It's also a kind of like a way of life at this point. We teach something called sensory design, and sensory design takes human design, which gives you a map of your energetic system and gives you an opportunity or a path to surrender to your form, your physical body, so that you can manifest the life that you were born to manifest. And functional training, sensory training, all this stuff. So we're building the bridge between spirituality and physical well-being. And so, for instance, I could look at your body graph and we can be like, oh, great, let's do some of these exercises for your undefined head or your defined head. What comes up. So we teach people how to resource their inner authority by giving them exercises that sort of force them to explore their bodies as a source of wisdom and insight. And it's very, very practical and very, very how you say, pragmatic, the right word? I don't know. Beautiful explanation, thank you. Yeah, it's only 37 bucks too. It's 37 bucks per month or 27 bucks per month if you want to do it annually, which comes out to 333 for the entire year. So it's like I think like 50, $60 more expensive than my one-on-one sessions. So I would say if you're considering getting a one-on-one session with me, just join the archive. Spend a year in the archive with us. You'll get a lot more benefit out of spending a year in the archive, paying for it up front. It's the most insane deal. Like we literally have so many of our members being like, after being in here for a month, you guys should be charging way more. And we're like, thank you so much. No, we want this to be accessible to everybody. We're not worried about money. We're fine. We have our own practices. The archive is like our passion project. Um, and we want it to grow just because of the results that people are getting. People that are anxious, that don't want to be anxious anymore. You don't get rid of anxiety, you learn how to use it as fuel, right? People that are emotional, that want to get rid of their emotions, you don't get rid of emotions, you learn how to transmit, like you use up what's inside you. You don't get rid of stress, you learn how to tolerate stress so that you can be more and more stressed out, more and more stressed out, but still chill as a cucumber. Well, literally got chills. We'll join soon. Welcome, Mystic Serpent. I love that name. Alone in nature is very important. I need a corner apartment next for sure. For now, corner apartment. For now, yeah, that'll do. Living in the city, you must stay protected at all times there spiritually. However, I learned that alone in nature is very important. Yeah. Yeah, there's no substitute for being out in nature. And literally, the thing about the city is there's so much going on. What's this? What's that? There's so many things to focus on. And chronic focus is literally one of the main antagonists to your well being. Chronic focus is one of the main antagonists to our well being because it puts blinders on us. It's the phone, it's the laptop, it's driving, it's the relationship. It's not being able to see things on your side and things on your back. And by definition, in terms of nervous system, we have sympathetic, which is focused, radial, fight or flight, and we have parasympathetic, which is ulnar, peripheral vision, side body, back body. What do people care about most? What do people care about most? In the brain and in the head, they're not stuck in their heads, they're just not using their body. And that's what we do in the archive. We give you an opportunity to explore the body. What happens when you drain all of your anxiety into your body? Well, it's like comets that are falling into the Earth's atmosphere. It burns up. It becomes very clear what is your problem and what is a problem that you adopted from a TV show that's being replayed out in one of your friends' drama. They speak of the Philosopher's Stone, yet they don't tell you that you are the Philosopher's Stone. Exact. I mean, they used to. They totally used to. Um, I'm back. 15 minutes to class. Yeah, we have 15 minutes till class. So we are having a live class. Not here. We're having it in the archive. which if you want to get in the archive, it should be it's a pretty quick process to get your subscription going and join the archive. And yeah, we'll show you how to alchemize your um, metaphorical lead and physical lead into pure gold. Can you tell me what careers are best for manifestors 5-1? Ooh. Um, what's your authority? There's not necessarily a best career. There's just how you do that career. Like you want to, in terms of like taking advantage of your body graph, like you want to be in a position where people are excited or um, receptive to your initiating. But also, it's like you might have to create that career for yourself. Splenic. Okay. So the best career for you is the one that your spleen gets to be the authority in. Because if you're going to be spending time doing it, your spleen ought to be the thing that is like very happy there in terms of like an ideal career. Now, using your manifester, which channel do you have for um, this? And this is, by the way, guys, I'm going a little bit deeper because I'm about to to sign off here. But this is the kind of counsel that I will give to people in the archive. And so, if you want to get more of this kind of stuff, join the archive. Because again, there's a lot of like in terms of misconceptions about human design, or like there's so much to learn about human design. Like this is really how you say what we're doing in the archive is very, very special, and it's very, very new. We just launched this in December, but me and my partner have over, we probably have about, between him and I, about 25, maybe 30 years of experience in human design and in like functional wellness and physical healing and martial arts and stuff like that. So it's not like we just like made this up last year or just learned it last year. We've been doing this for our entire, this is our life's work. So it's very exciting. But again, in terms of being a manifester, it's like, where do you want to work? Where does your intuition tell you that you want to work? What does your intuition tell you that you want to do? What career feels the healthiest for you? Which careers have felt not healthy for you? Again, your career is primarily going to be one that aligns with your spleen, which could be a waiter. You could be a waitress or a waiter, as long as you feel healthy doing it. And that's the important thing about life. Is like there is no perfect thing or perfect career for you. There is what you've experienced before and what you want to experience next and what you're experiencing now. Again, human design, like an analyst will tell you, oh, you're good at this. And, you know, again, yeah, where your spleen is happy. But that's a physical organ. I don't know about your spleen. You know about your spleen, you know, because sometimes you'll go through a career path that will make you more in touch with your spleen. Oh, that was so unhealthy. Oh, I spent 3 years in there. Okay, I'm never doing that again. Great. You learned a lot about how to listen to your spleen. That's super valuable. I sensory design call for pro level people. One should make the previous seasons first. No, so if even if you're brand new to the archive, come to live class. Always come to live class. Not only are they fun, but it's okay to like be a beginner in an advanced level class, right? Like that's one of the ways that I got really good at things. Is I was like, if I wanted to learn guitar, I found some of the best musicians, and instead of trying to like, oh, I can't go with those good musicians yet, I have to learn some things. I just went and I didn't interrupt it. You know what I mean? I didn't understand everything they were doing. Oh, we're going to go from C to G to D, and then we're going to do a change up, and we're going to change the time signature here. And I would just do my best not to interrupt it, and I would just absorb and learn. So yeah, even if you haven't, even if you're brand new to the archive, even if you've never heard about human design or anything, come check out the live class. It starts in 10 minutes, and I do have to go. In sports, it's called playing up. Exactly. Fly with the eagles, even if you're a pigeon. You know what I'm saying? Because eventually, that's how you become eagles. I play better when I'm playing with more experienced people. Yep. And I'll leave you with this. In there's a book that's the movie 300 was based off of. It's called Gates of Fire. It talks about Spartan culture, etc. It's a historically sound book, and there was a concept where they would take fresh people that have never, or men that have never been in war, and hardened seasoned veterans, and they would stack their front line: new guy, veteran, new guy, veteran, new guy, veteran, because the veteran would have to step it up to protect the new guy, and the new guy would step it up because they're fighting next to a legend. And that's what the archive is like. Frontline is like veteran, physio, brand new to human design, veteran of human design, brand new to movement. You know, it's we're like stacking everybody up together because it's like At the end of the day, we all have the same same physical human body for the most part. And the more that we can learn about our individual experience of it, the more we can manifest our signatures. And that's what this is all about. Hell yeah, expect this pigeon in the life soon. Let's go. All right, guys. Well, that's it for me. I'll see you guys in class in about 9 minutes. And if not, I'll see you next week on Monday. I go live Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Thank you for 19,500 likes and the 5 shares. I could be better at asking you guys to share. But anyway, thank you guys so much. If you're not already following, please follow. What else? Uh, Again, if you want sessions or a good app to learn about human design, I have all of the links, including the link to join the archive. All of that is in my bio, or just go to reikimarco.com. It's Marco with a C, REIKIMARCO.com. I will see you guys next Monday. Thank you for being here. Cheers. You help me so much with understanding being a projector more, especially when it comes to understanding real invites, real friends. Lasuki, thank you so much for that reflection. That's wonderful. Malaya, yes. See you soon. Aloha, friends.